Hi and welcome back to the Centric Advanced Functional Training series. In this video, we will see what can be done in case when email tokens are applied in the email print destination, but the matching email address doesn't exist. Email tokens are standard D365 F&O features. They are necessary and extremely useful, but they can cause a lot of trouble if the matching email address isn't found. Imagine that there is invoice purpose email token used in the email to field and that there are 100 invoices to be batch posted and emailed. If on some invoice no matching email address is found, the email message to field will remain empty, and imagine that it happened on the second invoice. Without the Centric, there will be an unhandled exception and the remaining 98 emails won't be sent, and you won't have an information about the exact document where the error occurred. In the interactive mode, it will be slightly better because we won't get an unhandled exception, so the remaining invoices will be emailed. I will demonstrate this with 3 selected invoices where the tokens can't be resolved on the second invoice. But let me first configure the print management. As you can see, we got 2 times information about success, and for the second invoice, this warning message, which is pretty useless, because I don't have idea on which invoice and which customer the problem occurred. If this was batch, it would be even worse because the third email wouldn't be sent. To help with this problem, the Centric has introduced a feature that allows for better handling of unresolved email tokens. You can find the configuration under the Centric Report Setup, Email Sending Settings. Here below, we can specify what to do in relation to email tokens. Let's add one entry. It is company-specific, so I will enter USMF and start from the basic setup if I don't need to automate the process, but just want to get a meaningful error message plus handled exception that will allow the batch to continue. So I will set the redirective field to never. Let's say that I'm using the email tokens only in the to field, so I'm interested only in it. Let's save this setting and print the previous 3 invoices once again. We see that now we know exactly which invoice was problematic, and we got a good description of the problem. Tokens in the to field were not resolved because the primary email address was not found. We can even automate the process by sending such report to some alternative print destination. We first specify under which conditions the redirection to the alternative destination should happen. I will pick this one. To field is empty due to unresolved tokens, because it hurts me the most. There are also other options that can help you in improving the data quality. As soon as I select some condition different from never, a default alternative print destination is set here and it is a default printer. This would mean that each invoice with unresolved tokens would be printed to the default printer of the user who initiated printing. I can also change this redirection. For example, we can have one folder on SharePoint or on Azure Files where we will collect such documents, and someone would be responsible for monitoring that folder or getting the information about the new documents and would then take care of them. I will use the Centric file print destination, Azure Files. I would like to get such files in this folder, Unresolved Tokens. I have it already on this Azure Files share, the Centric report output, which I have mounted to my Z drive. I would like to be able to identify the files in this folder quickly by the account number and invoice ID, so I will find them among the report-specific placeholders. Select these 2 placeholders, copy, and paste them here in the output file name. Let's save this setup and print once again our documents. Now we don't get the error message because the report was successfully sent to the alternative print destination, and we get the information that it went to Azure Files. We can check the result here in the File Explorer. In the Unresolved Tokens folder, there is a new file which I can open and then decide what to do with it, print it on a printer and send via regular email, contact the client and ask for the email address, and so on. It is important to understand the difference between the email tokens and the Centric placeholders. Some email tokens are part of the standard D365 F&O, and there are few additional email tokens implemented by the Centric. Available email tokens can be found in the dedicated email tokens form, which opens by clicking the arrow next to the To, CC, and BCC fields. Centric placeholders are implemented by Centric, and available placeholders can be found in the placeholder list. The most important difference between them is the following. Email tokens are resolved very early during the report execution, while placeholders are resolved almost at the very end. Because of that, we can take some corrective actions if the email tokens are unresolved, but there is nothing we can do if the placeholder wasn't resolved. And by the way, that is the reason why Centric implemented additional email tokens, such as order email or project email, even though they already existed as Centric placeholders. They are now processed as tokens, and if they are not resolved, we can print to alternative print destination. In this video, we learned how the unresolved email tokens handling improves and automates the emailing process.